Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokk dara.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
My first guest is Moses Sonko, a Gambian whose journey takes him from the basketball courts of Europe to the cashew fields of Tangier. Moses is the founder of Smiling Coast Agro Processing, one of the Gambia's largest cashew processing facilities and the first to be HACCP certified. If you don't know what HACCP certification is, stay tuned. It means that his products have met international food safety standards. His company is creating jobs, it's empowering farmers and positioning Gambian cashews for global markets. Now, before agribusiness, Moses was a professional basketball player in countries including France, Angola, Israel, Switzerland, if my list doesn't fool me, and even the United States, bringing the discipline of sports into the world of entrepreneurship. He joins us to share how his story blends inspiration, innovation, and national development. Moses, welcome to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez and West Coast Radio.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me.
Very good. And you are accompanied by my good friend Chico, actually the fixer in this case, because he made this possible under what banner?
Well, it's finding the models in the Gambia that can inspire more young Gambians to believe in themselves, to take initiative, and to build a nation.
Well said.
And Moses fits the bill.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, all right. You had a successful basketball career, Moses, I read in Europe. What inspired you to pivot from sports to agribusiness back home here in the Gambia?
My father.
Your dad?
Yeah, my dad. The late Malamin Usman Sonko, the former country director of ActionAid. Mm-hmm. So after retirement, we had a lot of conversations about what to do next. And the natural transition is to stay into basketball world, which I did. So I went back to the U.S. and I coached at the University of Maine. I was a basketball coach there. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like it was my calling. So I had some numerous conversations with my dad. He challenged me to come home. And he told me, Gambia needs people like you. Come home, use your brain power to help develop the country or make an impact. His exact words were impact. Come back and make an impact. So I took the challenge and I'm here now.
Why did you choose cashew?
Yeah, so when we were talking about coming back to Gambia, I told him, Dad, I wanted to focus on exports. So he said, okay, let's look at the different sectors that is possible for you to be able to take the raw material, add value to it, and export it out. So we looked at the different things that Gambia exports.
Groundnut would have been an option.
Yes. So we started with groundnuts, but with all the aflatoxins and the different things that's going on, we didn't feel like groundnut was the right route. We looked at even fish, scrap metal. Then we landed in cashew, and then we actually did the research. So it's not like we just took on to it. My dad's thing was like, do the research first, write the business plan. So I went to Vietnam, went to India, went to Cote d'Ivoire, of course, I was in Europe and America, so we reverse engineered it, meaning we talk to the customers first, figure out what it takes to supply them, and then we worked backwards into developing what they need. So that's how the idea came. It took us some time to do the research and walk through it, and we're happy with where we are now.
Mm-hmm. So the business is called Smiling Coast Agro Processing.
Yeah.
Tell us about its birth. What gap did you see in the cashew industry that motivated you to start the venture?
Yeah, so during the research, what we found out, which is astonishing, is the number is cashews travel 28,000 miles to get to the final destinations in the U.S. What that means is 60% of the world's cashew comes from Africa. But we process less than 10% of that.
Oh.
Most of that cashew goes to India and Vietnam, gets processed there, and then gets sent over to Europe and the U.S. So it's carbon emissions. It's a long travel for it to get to the final products. And most of the time in the U.S. and Europe, you're eating cashews that are 5 months old. People don't even realize that.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. So to get the fresher cargo and stuff, you need to get it from Africa. And we exporting jobs by doing this. We're exporting jobs. We're exporting value. So my goal was to cut the distribution line, process where it's grown, and then go straight into Europe and U.S., which we are closer. So why go all the way around, half around the world, and come back around? So that's where the idea came from.
Fantastic. And your facility is the first HACCP certified cashew processor in the Gambia. What's HACCP? And why does it matter?
So HACCP stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. What that means is, how do you control hazards in your facility to make sure that the food that people eat are of high standard? And it's not just, for us, it's the international standard one that we have. But that's also just the basics of it. That allows you entry into the European US markets, but we're shooting for what we call a BRC, and we're also shooting for fair trade certifications and the organic. Because we feel like Gambia, most of the farmers, the cashew are already organic. It's just a matter of certifying them to be able to tap into an even bigger market. Because the European market now, they really focus on what do you eat and where does it come from.
Sure. And what's BRC?
BRC is it's a British certification body, and it's more of a higher standard. So what the HACCP is one section of the BRC. So it's like the basics. The HACCP is how you control the factory. How do you control the hazards around the factory, the PPEs, make sure the hygiene control, everything is in place. But now the BRC takes it further than just the factory. It's how do you source? Like, how do you deal with the farmers? How do you deal with the product getting to the final customers? How's your recall systems in place and all that? So it's a more stringent one.
And what doors has HACCP certification opened so far for you?
European market, so we were able to export to France, and we have some contracts that we're working on now to get into more of the European market. And also, just to help us scale. But it just shows the European customers that these people are serious, and they because Europeans, and they're more worried about, are you selling us something that is good to eat? Like there's not going to be no hazards or something that can cause harm to our citizens. So it's important. Food safety is, for every customer I talked to, that was on the top of the agenda was food safety. Most companies don't even want to talk to you. The first thing they say is, show me your certifications before we can even have a conversation. So certification is extremely important. And I want to be an example to the other agro-processors to be like, take certifications serious.
Should we copy those countries? I mean, we let in a lot of food. I mean, we export very little, to other countries. But we bring in a lot from other countries.
For me, it's not about let's copy other countries. It's about let's do the right thing. So the right thing is... people want to know that what they're eating is safe. So how do you emphasize and show proof that what I have produced is safe for you to eat? It's simple. So those are the rules that they're doing. It's not like a European rule or American rule. It's a rule that I don't want to eat something and get sick.
Like happened to me on Sunday. I ate something and then, I had allergic reactions all over my body. Listen, you're not just a piece of furniture in the studio. You're part of the conversation. I mean, how does it strike you as a young man, and how have the two of you worked so far?
Well, we are both in the agro-processing center, it's industry, and I've been very inspired by how he set up his business. What I liked was the journey to coming to launch. talking with the customers, understanding their needs, and then the vision to build something that changes an entire industry. When we started the pineapple, that's the same idea we had, is we have to do something that transforms the country, transforms the industry. So finding someone like him who was thinking along the same lines, and also that cashews and pineapples could grow along each other, right? So there were a lot of synergies there. But then also in terms of the struggle of actually building something consequential in the Gambia. Some people wake up in the morning, and credit to them, they go to their shop and they sell coffee and food to people, to local consumers. Some of us wake up in the morning thinking, how do we change policy? How do we export products? How do we improve the income of thousands of farmers? And for those type of people, we don't have a lot of people who we can also bounce ideas off of. So I often go to visit him at the factory. We catch up for coffee, and we consistently encourage each other to keep fighting, to keep believing. There's a time I went to see him. I wanted to give up. And I was really at a stage where there's a lot of things we had tried with the Pineapple Initiative. And I found like the things are not moving in the right direction. But having that conversation where, it allows you to just reset and see, okay, what you've done is really, really good. It's really, really good. You just need to do it this way, or you just need to think about it this way, allowed me to get back that spirit and say, you know what, we're not giving up on this. So listening to him as just he was explaining, I could see that, he has mastered this industry. He went from someone who didn't know anything about cashew to becoming one of the world's leading experts in cashew, right? So it tells you that Gambians have the potential. The idea of being from the smallest nation on the continent does not limit you as an individual. Your brain is the same as the brain of the smartest Chinese. It's just how are you employing that, to what problem are you employing it to?
Absolutely. Coming back to you, Moses, how has the discipline and teamwork you learned on the basketball pitch shaped your approach to business?
It actually, it is the thing that shaped me as a businessman, because in basketball they really teach you discipline, and they teach you also teamwork. You need to understand that you need to figure out how the individual can impact the group. So in business, one of the things, like the discipline part of it, is waking up every day, going after it. Like I always have a saying with my sister, which is, how do you climb Mount Everest? One step at a time. So sports has given me that discipline of, you have a long-term plan, like, okay, I'll have a plan from here to 5 years. I understand that. But I also have to make shorter plans, meaning, what is my monthly plan? What is my weekly plan? What's my daily plan? So since I've broken it down to that, I focus only on the day. Today, this is my agenda for the day. Give everything I got to get this done today. And then tomorrow will come, keep building. And don't try to look too far ahead. And that's why I don't get discouraged, because it's also been a hard journey. But because of that discipline of basketball, of every day, move the needle. You move the needle every single day. And that has helped me out. So with that, I just keep pushing.
Absolutely. And one of your plans is to employ hundreds and impact thousands of lives, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you see agribusiness transforming employment opportunities for Gambian youth and women in particular?
I think it's one of the keys, because let's put it this way. For our factory, we're not at full capacity yet. At full capacity, we can do about 12 containers a month, and we'll be able to employ around 150 to 200 people just in my facility alone. And I did a work with the USDA, and they did a calculation that said 5 to 1. So meaning if I can employ 200 people, you multiply that by 5. That's the impact you can make. Wow. But also our impact goes not just on the factory side, but also on the farmers.
Yes.
Because once we start, scaling up and buying more of the farmers' products, also 5 to 1. That's how much impact you can do. So right now, one of the things we're working on is fair trade, which is we're trying to connect the farmers to us and build that traceability line. Because like I said, Europeans want traceability. They want to know what they eat and where it comes from. So the goal now is to be able to tell them, hey, you're eating this cashew, but it comes from the North Bank and it's coming from Fas. We can pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. And that also means we have to work a lot with the farmers.
Okay. And what support systems are you putting in place to strengthen farmers' role in the cashew value chain?
Yeah, so I was explaining about fair trade, and I also explained about organic. So those are things we're working on right now. What fair trade means is how well are you paying the farmers? What is your relationship with the farmers? How are you treating them? Because some of the European customers, they want that. And also organic. What organic does for me is, once you can help these farmers become organic, now you can pay them a little bit more. So now you can actually put in the post-harvest handling that needs to be done, because those are things that are required by the organic certification. So when you start doing that, now you start helping them get their yield better. You start getting them earn more money. And then now they also don't have to worry about market. Where am I going to sell my cashews? No, there's a processor that's going to process it. So you have a relationship with them. So it just brings the market together.
Help me, explain this terminology, organic, because it's just assumed by most Gambians that everything that grows in this country is organic, because...
Yes, so most of the things in Gambia, it is organic. Organic means, like, are you using pesticides? Are you using different things to grow it? Where, in Gambia we use a lot of like cow dung, things like that. But just by you doing it doesn't mean you can claim it's organic. There has to be proof and there has to be research done. So that's why the certification is important. The certification is more than people doing their due diligence to make sure that what you say is what you do.
And of course, if you run a processing, factory in this country, you have to think about energy. Your factory integrates solar and biomass energy, I understand.
Yes, so we're 100% off-grid.
100%?
Yeah.
Lucky you.
So we have about 150 kilowatts of solar power. Because again, the whole idea is cutting carbon emission, meaning cut the distribution line for it going to Southeast Asia and then coming back to Europe. And also we're looking into renewable energy. And one of the things we also with the biomass is we use our shells to run our boiler. It burns the cashew shells for energy. And we're also looking at different things like briquettes, turning the cashew shells into charcoal and limit deforestation in Gambia. Because right now in Gambia, there's a lot of households are using charcoal to cook. So that's a project we're working on right now, is to turn the shells into briquettes and charcoal, and also push that. The more we scale, the more we can generate, and the more we can advocate for less deforestation.
I mean, so far, it's been like, to the listener and the guy who's watching, plain sailing. But there must have been challenges along the way. What have been the biggest challenges in building this large-scale agribusiness in the Gambia, and how did you overcome them?
There's been a lot of challenges. I don't know, even on the construction side of it, we had challenges with our contractors. You have challenges with your employees. You have challenges with sometimes, when we started the idea, we made the budget, and then COVID happened. COVID had to change the budget. So there's a lot of different challenges. But like I said to you, life is full of challenges. So you cannot sit here and say challenges is what's going to break you. Like I said, we deal with things one day at a time. You make your plans, but you also have to be flexible enough to be able to adjust as things come along. And then you find different ways to go. That's where, like you said, my sports background comes into play, where we realize that, listen, you got to put one foot in front of the other, and whatever challenges come your way, you try to figure it out to the best of your ability, and you keep moving.
But in terms of, challenges of maybe policy, nothing like that, registration, taxation, and all of that?
No, things have been pretty straightforward in
land acquisition, for the business and.
Yeah, so no, for us, those were not some of our challenges.
Okay.
To say. Of course, we want some policies to be changed. I would not mention all of those things here. I think those are private conversations to have. But yes, we want some more policies to help support processing, especially because if you look at countries like Cote d'Ivoire, they have a lot of good policies that they've been doing. That's why they're now the second largest processors of cashews in the world. They've surpassed India. And they're right behind Vietnam because of the policies. So those are things definitely we need to, we have ideas, but we need to tell the government, like, go look at countries like Cote d'Ivoire that are doing it and figure out some of the things that they're doing to help people like us be able to scale and make it easier to be able to add value to our local products.
Have you started telling government? Have you
Yes.
been engaged with, government institutions?
Yes, I have. I've talked to the Ministry of Trade, of course, which directly impacts what we're doing. So we had some few conversations, but mostly with the older minister. I've not had a chance to talk to the newer one. It was more Honorable Juf that we had some conversations. So we have ideas. We are ready to talk. We know how to develop the industry, like he said. I took the time to do the training. Like food safety wise, I have 9 certifications on food safety myself. Wow. So I don't need to hire an expert to come tell me what to do. I know what to do myself.
Which helps.
Yes.
Which helps, yeah?
Yes.
It cuts the budget somehow in terms of salaries.
It's not even about the budget, but you need to know where you're going.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want somebody else to tell me where I'm going.
Yeah.
I need to be the one to say, this is where we're going, this is the reasons why. I need to be able to articulate myself. So that's why I said, if the government wants to talk to me about some of the policies and some of the things, I can articulate it myself and I can explain to you why and what the impacts could be. Because I was also fortunate to have some development agencies that are supporting in my training also. I did the Cashew Master Training Program in Ghana. It was sponsored by the African Cashew Alliance and GIZ, Come Cashew. So we have and I also know the experts. So I'd go to a lot of these cashew conventions, World Cashew Convention, African Cashew Alliance conventions and things. So I know who the experts are. So I'm not saying that I know everything, but the things that I need to know, I know the people that can get me those information.
Fantastic. You wanted to chip in?
Yes, because there's also something that it's important to note is Gambia has one of the best cashews in the region, yet it's one of the smallest countries. And so I think one of the things that would also be helpful is for more people to go into producing local cashew.
That's true.
Right? So because he competes with cashew processors in Senegal, in Guinea-Bissau, in Ivory Coast for cashew that is produced within the region. And also they're competing with exporters, Chinese, Indian, who have to feed those factories that are 28,000 miles away. And so one of the challenges that an industrialist like him will faces is supply, local supply. And that can be solved by more Gambians who have land or communities going into producing higher quality cashew for export. With knowing that the organic certification is one where they're going to look at how you're planting, where are you getting your seeds from, how are you maintaining, how are you irrigating, and then how are you storing, right? All the way to the processor like him. So people who get in touch with agro-processing, with Smiling Coast today, and they say, okay, we want to produce cashew for you, have more chances of getting a higher price for their cashew because of the markets that they're trying to reach. So I think that's also something important to talk about.
Yeah, so if you don't mind.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
So I want to encourage more cashew production. And cashew production is not something that is so hard to do. So we need to educate the farmers about how they do it, which is, of course, we need the better spacing with cashews because you want to give them, to have better yield, you have to give them a chance for the canopies to grow bigger, and that's what me and him were talking, which is, but when you're doing the spacing, you can intercrop, so that's why one of the things we're talking about with pineapples, because pineapple don't have deep roots. So what you want to do with intercropping is you want to have, say if I have a cashew tree, it takes 3 to 5 years for it to start yielding. Mm-hmm. You intercrop in between those times. You do pineapples, you do groundnuts, you do different things that have deep roots so they don't fight with nutrients. Mm-hmm. But you can intercrop to a certain period of time, and then once the cashew is generating enough, then now you can focus on the cashew. That's like now you're talking about 5 years in. So and cashews, if you can look into the world right now, the prices are going up and up and up and up. So it's a cash crop. Mm-hmm. So a lot of, and also with the weather patterns, a lot of countries are moving away from cocoa, especially Ghana, and going more into cashews because of the climate change.
Fantastic.
And there's labs that are now working that have been funded by Mondelez and all these large chocolate factories to be making lab-based cocoa. So they're gonna eliminate cocoa at some point. And
I don't say eliminate.
Well, they're gonna reduce. So yeah, cashew is an opportunity.
So how is Smiling Coast agro-processing changing lives in Tanje and surrounding communities?
In business, everything you call a trickle-down effect. So we employ mostly women and youths. We're about 85% women and youths. So, and of course, skills development, we have to train them a lot into, proper hygiene and things that you need to do for our certification. So there's a lot of training happening. We're providing jobs, and also the community around us. Women come in the morning, they have to go buy breakfast, they have to go buy this and that. So we definitely feel like we are contributing, and we could see the smiles of the women and how happy they are and how they're supporting. They're also supporting their families. So it gives us joy.
Absolutely. And do you see yourself as a role model for Gambian athletes who want to transition into business? Not necessarily even after their playing careers, while they're still playing?
To be honest, like being a sports guy, at the end of your career, it's sometimes scary, because you're trying to figure out what do you transition to next. And I'm hoping that not just in Gambia, but also in Europe and in America, some of my people there, that I can inspire them to understand that athletes can also become business people, but you have to also just translate your work ethic in the athletic field. You have to translate that work ethic into the business field. It's not something that's just going to be handed to you. You need to understand that work needs to be put in and needs to be done daily. So we have this saying, is just work hard, work smart, but work consistently.
And what lessons from your basketball career have proven most valuable in navigating the ups and downs of entrepreneurship?
Grit, resilience, I mean, I won't sugarcoat it. Gambia sometimes can be very, very, very challenging, So sometimes, you start questioning yourself. Because like for me, for example, I was in coaching in Division I college. I got right out of playing professional to getting a job that, if you look at it, is the right transition from playing to coaching, And then now me pivoting into agribusiness in Gambia, sometimes you question yourself. But again, that's where your background comes into play of grit, keep pushing, figure it out, the challenge. So for me, it was about the challenge, because I felt like I was going to get bored after the sports life. But Cashew is giving me all the challenge I really want.
In Gambia too.
Yeah, in Gambia. Exactly.
And where do you see the company, Smiling Coast Agro-Processing in 10 years' time, and what role it will play in the Gambia's economy?
I think we'll become one of the biggest agro-processors in Gambia. I think we, not even in 10 years, my goal is in the next 3 years. Oh. That is my goal. And we have the roadmap. It's not like I'm just saying it because I want to say it. We also did the work and we put the roadmap in place, and we felt like if we follow the blueprint and what we have in place, we have a chance for that. And then after that, of course, you want to scale it and compete with the rest of the agro processors in Africa. So we have big dreams. I will not lie. That's why I'm not going to leave a basketball career and come into agro-processing if I didn't have big dreams.
Absolutely. And how do you rate his chances, their chances?
I'm rooting for them just as I'm rooting for you, right? I've been saying it. I said West Coast radio has to be the #1 radio in Africa. Smiling Coast also the same, because I think Gambia is one of the most blessed countries in the world. That's what I believe. I'm fundamentally a promoter.
What's the basis of your belief?
The people. The people are some of the most kind people on the continent. I've lived in different countries. Some countries, the people are not as kind as Gambians are. 2, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot yet to be done. There's still space to be done. 3, you're in a hub, a cluster that connects many countries with different potential. And so being able to develop something here that has its antennas across other countries is a unique opportunity that you only get from being here. And then thirdly, those of us that I'm speaking about, you've already done the work yourself in an environment where no one believes in you. The only people who believe in you are maybe your closest friends, right, and family, because they've never seen it happen. And that resilience, that psychological, as grit, he's saying, that grit is in every successful Gambian has grit embedded in their DNA now, right? Because you can't make it without grit. Now, what do you need? You need more capital. You need more exposure. You need more visibility. You need access to bigger markets for you also to show what you're capable of doing. And so for me, that's why I believe in him. I call him the Cashew King. And not just that I believe it. I believe that with him, we're going to go buy a large factory in Ivory Coast, right? So Smiling Coast, Gambia will own a factory in Ivory Coast, in the biggest market. And the same thing with you. that will go and buy a radio in Nigeria.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. In terms of access to capital, Moses, are you finding it easy?
No. So as of right now, it's been private capital. I do have business partners, though, so it's not just me. Actually, I combine basketball, and so one of my biggest business partners is the president of my club in France, the club that I retired for. He believed in me. I played for him for 6 years. He believed in me, believed in my vision, and he invested.
Fantastic.
So, of course, we're looking at other ways to also raise capital, because as of right now, like I told him...
But hopefully not through bank loans.
You don't want to close any doors. I will not completely close a door. Yeah. But
because they say the interest rates here are too high.
They are very high. But it also depends on where you are in the scale of your business. So I always tell the banks, not yet. It depends on where we are in the scale. Because if you get to a certain scale and you need capital to do some quick transactions and then you can return the money fast, yeah, no problem. But as of right now, it's been private capital. And hopefully some of these grant programs that are around could hear us and also work with us to scale, because we've done proof of concept already.
Fantastic. Listen, we have a lot to get through this morning. So just finally, what's your personal message to Gambian youth, whether they dream of sports, business, or both?
Definitely go for both, because one of my dreams in the near future is to really get into the basketball side of Gambia. I have the contacts, as you know, professionally, and most of my network is in the basketball world. So I would definitely want to do something. And for entrepreneurship, we have to develop the country. The country is our country. There's a reason I came back, is because I'm Gambian. My dad challenged me. He did his part in national development. I want to do my part also. And if we all have that kind of mindset to come and give back, soon enough it will trickle down and it will develop the country. Fantastic. It's our country.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Final word.
Well, we would love to have you visit the factory.
Oh, I definitely will. I definitely will. And I'm committing on, publicly on public radio. So,
and also they have a byproduct of cashew, which is cashew butter, cashew paste.
Cashew paste.
They produce cashew paste, which is processed cashew, can be used for making domoda. One of the best domodas.
I think you've stayed too long in this country.
Yes, exactly. So I encourage everyone to try the Smiling Coast cashew paste. It's going to really change the domoda culinary culture in the Gambia.
It's better.
He supplies cashew to Senegal. Most of the supermarkets in the Gambia buy cashew from him.
Fantastic.
It's a little share of what they produce, because the majority is being exported. But there is cashew paste that is healthier for people, and it really has a very good taste for the local domoda.
Chico, thanks for coming too. That was Moses Sonko, founder of Smiling Coast Agro-Processing and former professional basketball player, sharing how his journey from sports to agribusiness is helping transform the Gambia's cashew industry and create opportunities for young farmers.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country, with the most competitive prices in the market.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.